I hope you can hear me as well. There he is. We'll talk about cabinet reshuffles later. First, this news about former President Mubarak.
When are we on there?
Yes, in fact, Al Jazeera has just actually spoken to the lawyer representing former President Hosni Mubarak, and he has confirmed to Al Jazeera that, in fact, the president is, in fact, in a coma. We understand from the lawyer, who has been in touch with President Mubarak's wife, Susan Mubarak, that this happened a short while ago based on medical reports that we've been seeing. The president has been suffering from a very severe heart condition, and according to a medical report that was published in a local paper here on Thursday, his situation was deteriorating. But we do understand now from the lawyer, who is actually on his way to Sharm el Sheikh, to be by the president's side, as we understand it, that in fact the president is in a coma.
So he's still in hospital in Sharm el Sheikh. What have there been reports about his health up until this time? Because you get varying reports about his health, about his condition, about old illnesses flaring up.
Well, we knew from several reports, both the official reports that was carried out by the general prosecutor and leaked reports, and including the lawyer himself who has spoken to the media in the past, that the president's situation, the former president's situation, was in fact deteriorating. Now, we know in previous years he had been treated in Germany for abnormal growth on one of his organs, actually I believe it was the liver, and at the time he received a operation in Germany, and ultimately now, since the end of his term in office, since he was removed from power, his situation was continually getting worse. We know from the general prosecutor one of the main issues in being able to transfer him to Cairo. He has been in this Sharm el Sheikh hospital where he has been receiving treatment, but also under government custody, if you will. He has not been transferred to Cairo because of his health, and that was one of the main sticking points in the complaints that many of the protesters here in Egypt have. They have said that they wanted him transferred to a prison, but according to both the Ministry of Interior and the General Prosecutor, none of Egypt's prisons, particularly those in Cairo, could possibly treat the president in the way that he needed to be treated. And so therefore his situation was constantly deteriorating while he was in the hospital in Sharm el Sheikh.
Yeah, just so you know, I'm seeing a line from the Associated Press here that the former President Mubarak suffered a stroke, and that is why he's in a coma as well. It all feeds into the idea that he was never fit to stand trial, which is what, as you said, his lawyers have been saying all this time, that his health is actually their number one concern there.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, one of the issues that protesters have been complaining about was the fact that when these indictments came out against the former president and his two sons, he was not only transferred to Cairo, but the fact was that the trial date was assigned to August 3rd, and that's still a few weeks away. So he has not yet appeared in court, and there were questions as to whether or not the court proceedings can happen without him appearing in court. And to that effect, the general prosecutors and the lawyers here in Egypt have said that the former president, was going to stand trial regardless of whether he was transferred out of that hospital or not. There were many in Egypt, and it's important to emphasize, there were many in Egypt who were speculating that kicking the trial date so far down the line to a time when it was going to be a very slow judicial cycle here in Egypt was an attempt by the government, or at least by the military rulers of this country, not to bring the president to stand trial. That was strictly the speculation by many of those who criticized the military for not trying to move these trials along faster. There's no doubt, though, that the news that the president has slipped into a coma is going to raise concerns among many that he may not stand trial if the situation continues to deteriorate in regards to his health.
Ayman Mohideen with a live update from Cairo. Thank you, Ayman. The word out of Egypt right now, out of Sharm el Sheikh, where that man, the former President Hosni Mubarak, has been in a hospital since he was ousted back in February, is that he has had a stroke and is in a coma. That news coming from his lawyer.